Alright, I'm not even gonna explain what just happened with my dog's snout. Timestamp. That was jarring. October 27th, 2025, 6:40 a.m. Been up for a little while. I'm definitely getting a shower here pretty soon. But first, maybe we should go outside. Alright now. Whoa, hey. Good thing I'm wearing pants. Mm. Doing that Dunkin' Donuts. I'm sorry, it's just Dunkin' now. It's Dunkin' Donuts. We're gonna rebrand. Whatever. Um, so is the other one just gonna become crispy? Doing the Dunkin' Donuts. It's so stupid. Vanilla, which is so good. It's actually my second pot. I made a pot yesterday afternoon too. Been up for a little while. Ooh, that was almost Carabad, high summer. My friend Summer is one of her favorite words. Mind you, it's a kind of spectacular word, so. Oh, the ground is so uneven here. Scrappy, you wanted to come outside. We're outside. Thank you. Yeah. Sniffing my feet. Not really important. I don't know. My dog is confusing me. Health check. I feel pretty good. Little chest tightness, it's like, maybe it's Maybelline, the chest tightness, whatnot. It's like, is it panic attack anxiety or is it emphysema? Got a fair amount done in the dining room yesterday. Doesn't look like it, but from a sorting standpoint, what I did made a lot of sense. And I'm hopeful that by the end of today, the dining room will be set up more or less the way I want it, at least for now. And then it's getting into the garage and banker boxing up the debris. Because, oh my God, there is debris. That'll give us storage room, and it'll all sort of make sense. Tanner's taking care of business. Been doing, I don't know, is it a guilty pleasure? Been like watching some AGT videos here and there, hearing some really good vocalists. Some rather bizarre acts as well, but I'm a sucker for those every now and then, having done, a fair amount of theater. Go that way, thanks. My dog does, I don't know if you have a dog, if they do this. My dog likes to walk in front of me and then like stop walking and look over his shoulder, like like a nervous Silent Hill player. That's what it always makes me think of. Is it following me? Is it following me? Is it still behind me? I think we're doing PT. Oh god, the scary woman's still there. If you know, you know. Still not AI. Watched a couple more. Get some more coffee while I'm up. Watched a couple more horror game preview videos too. Shout out to a YouTuber that I'm actually enjoying his videos a fair amount, called Midnight Play. I like his content. It's a little repetitious because I've watched like 10 of his videos in the past 2 days, and a lot of the same video games keep getting mentioned because, you know, they're good enough to make it on several, you know, top 10 lists or whatever that he's done. Stuff like Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 7, which I'm only half watching those segments because I'm trying not to get spoiled. Resident Evil 2, I played the original so many times, I don't know that I'm actually going to get drastically spoiled on anything that he's going to show in a video, you know. There might be some new puzzles and... That was my hand, ow. And whatnot, but like getting spoiled on story content and whatnot, not likely. Unless they drastically change the Resident Evil universe. Still think I'm probably going to play through 0. I'm torn between 0 and the first game. Then I'm also leaning towards 7 because it is something that I haven't played before and it's different and fresh, and honestly, he's not the only... Not yet, I haven't. He's not the only one that's actually been saying how good it is, so I'm like, you know, something new and shiny out there to play with. And I have it. I've had it for a while. I have an impressive Steam library with like 70 games in it. And had my Steam account for a while. Tanner? Hey, Scrap. Let him get through. Thanks. There you go, little guy. There you go. I think I've played like 5 games. And one of the things that I need to do, that I want to do, and therefore I will, is I need to go through the list that I wrote, and yeah, there's like 70 more games there. I'm not buying all 70 games, but I want to see which ones I may already have in my library on Steam, because I probably already have a few of those. I mean, excuse me, I know I have some of them. Maybe 10, maybe 20, I don't know. But figure out what Steam actually has on that list, put them on the wish list. That way, Christmas sale, maybe pick a few of them up. But there are a couple on here that keep getting highlighted, and you know, watching like a 2-minute blurb on a game gives you a little bit of a feel for it. There are a couple that I really think I'd like. Little Hope looks pretty cool, which that's part of one of the anthologies that I've gotten a few games from before, and they've I haven't played them, but they look pretty cool, so I've acquired them, and that whole eventually I will sit down and, well, I'm kind of at that place, you know. The Devil in Me looked interesting. Any of the Song of Horrors are intriguing. It's just, man, I wrote down a huge list. And I didn't write down every game on every video because there were some games that I looked at. I'm like, nah. The Bridge Curse 2 looks really interesting. And another game that keeps coming up is The Quarry, which looks kind of up my alley. Because I really did like Until Dawn. Yes, I played a somewhat modern game. A bunch of people mentioned Outlast 2. I played Outlast, and games don't usually affect me that much. I don't get scared that easily. Outlast was... Now I can play the Silent Hills and go right to sleep and whatnot. Resident Evil also. Outlast was kind of... That kind of stuck with me for a minute. That was... I give them credit. That game really did have that being stalked, dread feeling. They did a good job with that. And kind of that, lack of combat thing where you're pretty much just running, hiding, relying on, like, batteries for a camera and a light. It made for interesting gameplay. You're not getting excited because you found the lead pipe and now you can actually defend yourself, or the wooden plank. Silent Hill. There are firearms in Silent Hill, but you're usually rubbish with them. Oh my god, that's so good. Yes, I'm vicious little sunflower. So at least from my experience in Silent Hill, you wind up really loving your wooden plank and your lead pipe. Because the hunting rifle's nice, but boy, do you put holes in the wall. That's right. Janus's crate has been cleaned, so he's going to move his litter tray around his room as much as possible to fix that. He's going to be out of there probably, maybe by tomorrow night, actually. Which is pretty cool. I think. Been able to scritch and pet him on the regular, and he's actually insisted on it a couple times. He's actually thrust his head into my hand a couple times. So that's very encouraging. Which, if you don't speak cat, that's very much a, you will pet me now. So, okay. Is this the one I think it is? Okay. I got a couple of watchers that are going to be like all kinds of crazy about this particular package that I'm opening right now. Full disclosure, I spent $400 on this one. I have at least 2 regular viewers that are going to be like, because I don't really have a lot from this particular series. I would like to get the Rebecca eventually, but as I've mentioned before, and now there's a clue out there for some people, the Rebecca is going to cost me like $500 by herself, which I'm not prepared to part with right now. Could I? Yes. Should I? No. So, I bought a lot on eBay recently, and it got here, of, look at you. So Palisades Resident Evil figures. They're loose. Gotta figure out how his legs exactly work. Okay, I guess he's supposed to kind of almost walk like a gorilla. This is a hunter. If you've played like the original Resident Evil 2, these guys are vicious. They're one of my favorite creatures from the original, at least in their look. I don't like dealing with them because it's real easy to lose your head when you're dealing with them. Because that thing right there, clean off, one shot. If you're by the back garden door, you know what I'm talking about. Oh my god, you're so pretty. Gotta figure out how his legs work, because that's, I don't know if he's bent or if that's like really how the leg configuration works. Only a mother can love that. That or a diehard fan like me. No fun running into this in a dark hallway. Especially when they bring a date. You are so pretty. I did not spend $400 on just a hunter. This is one of those purchases that I'm like fighting guilt about. But the opportunity was presenting itself. Oh my god, look at you. No, it is not Billy Idol. Oh man. I have a couple of figures from the series, but this is one character that I did not have any figures for at all. This is like right after Rebecca as far as the wanted to get, needed to get in my life. If you're a fan of the franchise, you'll probably recognize Albert Wesker right away. Inbox, these are pricey. They're pricey. Now there should be a pack in here of accessories and whatnot. I did not spend $400 for just a Wesker and a Hunter. Back in the day, he's got red eyes. Back in the day, and I say this as a Gen Xer and with sadness, if you ask the fan community, like when the first couple games first had come out, pre-internet, everybody was pushing for, if they did a film version, to get Val Kilmer to play Wesker, because in the game he looks like a cross between like Iceman from Top Gun and Billy Idol, and Val Kilmer absolutely could have nailed it, you know. And he looks good. Yeah, the Palisades figures are just because you've seen the Toy Biz ones that I showed you were like, oh, I've got one right here actually. I always have a hunk of Burning Love on my desk. I mean, they look good, but again, with the whole, this is how my legs are going to permanently be thing going on, which it doesn't have to be that way. Why you gotta do that? It doesn't have to be that way. The Palisades figures have a great deal of mobility going on without the I am disco dancing permanently kind of thing going on with the legs. Pretty straightforward, right? They do have the shoulder, and they do have the spinning thigh thing, much like my Character Options does too, really. But at least the thigh part, the arm, they're frequently just up and down like Kenner. Oh my god, you look so good. It's just a really good put together figure. The Palisades. Just really, really good. Very versatile. The detail's nice. The paint's nice. And I've got a couple, but I hadn't had a Wesker before. So I just got a Wesker. He's not my favorite character in the series because, well, you know, he's spoiler, he's not one of the good guys. Now this is one that I already do have. I do have a Chris, but the Chris I have is still in box, and I'm trying to not hoard, but I've been running into that hole when I do get a hold of the rest of my figures out of the attic, as it were. Do I open it? Or is that one thing I'm just going to keep in the box because, again, not trying to hoard or collect exactly, but there are a couple things that I might preserve and keep as they are. You know what I mean? My kids can sell them when I'm dead kind of thing. You're in great shape too. You look good. I'm assuming the original collector that I bought these from said that they were pretty much used for display, not really played with, etc. The Palisades are just really damn good looking figures. How tall are you? 8-inch? Yeah, I think these are probably 8-inch. It's got the stars logo going on the back of the vest, and very little paint damage there. He's in. That's one of the places you can always tell with like figures like this, when they have like a big and scratched up, then you know, it's really hard to repair that. So it looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of nicks in here and there, but you know, after the weekend he had, that's permissible. This should be the accessory stuff. This is one of the other reasons that I went ahead and did it. As I have explained, sometimes the accessories are, unless you've got one like mint in box, you know, that you can open and take out, sometimes the accessories are just impossible to get. They all become, you know, lost in the carpet or in the backyard or what have you. And this actually had a couple that I was just like, okay, eventually I'd love to get a 3D printer and feed in some of these things to the scanner or what have you and be able to print my own. And then, not to resell, I'm not going to try and, you know, this is an original. I've seen people that do that. Oi! You two knock it off. I've seen people that have done that with like Star Wars guns and whatnot. They'll sell it as original when it's actually a 3D print thing, I'm not into that. That's cheating. But using it for my own use, eventually, yeah. Oh, look at you. So, one of the Chris props that I was hoping to get my paws on is a typewriter. I wonder if these come off. No? Thought maybe the ribbons might come off. That'd be real easy to make too. The ribbons on that. Take a look at that. I bet there's some like magnetic checker games. I think it would be fairly easy to, from a diorama prop making standpoint, because I make things. I've got a tree that I made out of a toilet paper roll that's sitting on top of there. I'll show you. Show you now. Why not? I brought it up, right? I made this thing like 15 years ago. Can't really get in there. It's dusty too. I need to actually like hit it with air. But next to the Buzz Lightyear, the tree. That's, you can pause the video. That's a toilet paper roll, a little wood piece of panel that I used as a base, some toothpicks, some great stuff, and crazy glue. Ta-da! So, I mean, I make like diorama props in my head. I look at things and I go, oh, you know what I could use that for? But I bet I could take some of the magnetic checkers, obviously give them a repaint and all that. I bet I could make ink ribbons. And again, if you play the games, you know that's how you do save points. You find ink ribbon and you can save your progress. But yeah, being able to do a 3D print on that and actually make my own, again, not mass producing it, because no, that's not cool. So cool. Has the extra Wesker head. So glad that didn't break. Always makes me a little nervous. Tell me that doesn't scream Val Kilmer. Like, 20 years ago, Val Kilmer. But one of the other things this came with, and this is something that I know I can make more of, yeah, that won't be too hard. Because I've actually gotten some small wood pots from, like, crafting stores before. But it comes with a green herb. And that honestly reminds me of some of like the aquarium grass. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be too hard. So some of the crafting pots, I would probably, do some aquarium grass of some sort. And maybe like a little shot of great stuff in there. And then paint it brown to simulate the dirt, the soil. The insulation foam, great stuff. Really fun to be able to, it's very moldable. It's gooey when it's still drying, but beyond that, yeah, there weren't a huge lot of accessories other than the spare head, the typewriter, the green herb. It does come with an extra right hand, which it's kind of interesting. It's Chris's glove. And it's really about the same shape, like hand shape. And I guess the finger's a little different. It's almost like a second one of the same thing. It's interesting. That looks really good on the shoulder. It comes with a couple of pew-pews. The Combat Kniffy. I think that should be in here, right? Yeah. Put his 9 in there. Something I just realized, he doesn't actually have the, like, Kniffy holster. I'm saying it that way to make any of the AI bots go crazy. That's not how that's pronounced. Warning, warning. Oh, okay. I guess that's like a little, like a shotgun shell casing. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it comes with a couple of Uzis, the Kniffy, and grenade launcher. Und wir having the shotgun, yeah. Does it have moving parts? It does. It's one thing about some of the Palisades is sometimes these guys actually, like the pump actually moves on this, which is kind of great. You can see that. Actually, you can slide it. Detail on it's really good. I mean, for, you know, a little piece of plastic. Nice. 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 Oh. But yeah, I'm fighting guilt on this one. Could I afford it? Yeah. And at the same time, I just did one. I got a Wesker. The Chris and the Hunter are, you know, obviously great, but I got a Wesker. This is a figure I've wanted to get. This particular figure from that particular, no, but a Wesker. I've been wanting to get a Wesker. $10 years. Probably, something like that. You know, not mint in box, but my needs aren't, I don't have to be the one that opened it, you know what I mean? He's here, he's in good shape, he's intact, he's not broken. And he will be loved and cherished, because Wesker. Bastard that he is. But now I need to get a Rebecca, but I'm not ready to drop the $500 or $700. That's I'm not willing to cross that line quite yet. Things solidify, stabilize to a great degree, then maybe. It's still, man, that's... Because I am a collector of sorts and all that, but that's an awful lot of money for an action figure. I would have to really talk myself into it, which... Alright, I'm capable of talking myself into things. It's true. But I better make sure the bills are paid for the next year before I do that, because otherwise I'm going to be like, what if I need... I know me. I know me. Now I have guilt. That's you have 10 years. Not kidding. So that's kind of a big deal for me. Um, mm. Val Kilmer would have just rocked that part. Even with the jawline, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna put my new toys away. Lovingly, excitedly, but carefully. I will be gentle in ways that Albert could never be gentle. Again, if you know, you know. He's mean. His mama didn't love him. So, yeah, man, I got a whisker. So I'm going to put those away. Put my toys away. Recess is over. And I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to take a shower first, though. That sounds really good. Slip on my Crocs, put on some shorts and a tank top, and just start digging into the mess behind me to make the mess behind me not be a mess behind me anymore. That's the goal. It's Monday morning, so my girl will probably be coming over at some point. I know she was doing some stuff around the house on Saturday, and she tweaked her back in ways that are unpleasant, so hopefully she's feeling better. She might call out on me, she might not, I don't know. I just miss her, you know. It's a lot. If you've worked in like another town or done a long distance relationship kind of thing, you know, you get it. We've been together. It'll be 30 years in March, which is hard to fathom. We've actually been together longer than we have not. Over half of our lives have been spent with each other, which, oof, may need put a little bourbon in my coffee after a thought like that. Yeah. But no, seriously, we've been together almost 30 years, 29 and a half years. So I'm not dependent on her, and she's not dependent on me, but I really like having her around. You know, she's my best friend. So her not being in the same house is kind of like sadness, you know. Because she would look at these figures and probably be like, that's really nice, I'm happy for you. I don't really care, but I'm happy for you, you know. I can share it with you, but, you know. But she knows that I'm a fan of the franchise. Oh, I got a whisker. Okay. But yeah, hopefully I get to see my girl. That'd be nice. So, yeah. No word from Billy at the VA. Really hoping to get my dad in. It's the weekend, so I don't expect phone calls on that. Really hoping that this is the week, you know. I want to get him into a VA facility as quick as I can, because the other place is making me a little nervous. So, all right, I'm going to sign off. Make it a great day.